Hi. So today I want to talk about two concepts, but they are intertwined, they are inseparable. I'm going to talk about stress and I'm going to talk about stressors. So, first, I begin by asking the questions: what is stress and what is a stressor? Now, I'm going to follow up those questions with answers. Stress is what we find in the environment, external environment, the environment that surrounds us. And we find it in the environment that surrounds us, and it affects us mentally, it affects us cognitively, and it affects us bodily. So, how is it defined? Stress is a feeling of tension and strain that surpasses an individual's cognitive and physical capabilities at any given point in time at all. So, for instance, you work a job, you are an employee or you're a student. Now, going to your place of primary assignment on that job and carrying out your assigned job specification is stressful. It could be stressful even if you love doing your job. That's the reason why the week is designed in such a way there is 7 days and there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days that you have to go to work. So the other 2 days you rest on those days. You use them to rest. Why was it designed that way? I believe it was designed that way partly to help us to deal with stress, because we become stressed even from doing the things that we love. So I was mentioning about being a student. When you're a student, you've been given provisional admission. You have to go to school, you have to attend class, you have to do assessments, you have to get promoted if you pass your assessments, and then when you've acquired all the knowledge that, or you've been through all the drills academically from the beginning of your studies to the end as was designed in the curriculum, then you're certified, you're given a certificate, and you know that you have graduated and you feel excited about that. Okay, you may feel euphoria or even ecstasy. That's trying to label the extent of happiness that you may feel. So that is stress. Now, what is a stressor? A stressor is anything that we derive stress from. Anything that we derive stress from. So it could be your job. Okay, so imagine that you were working every day of the week, every day of the year for 365 days. Wouldn't you feel stressed? Wouldn't you have to be hospitalized at some point? Now, besides the week having 7 days and you having to go to work for only 5 days, there is also annual leave. So there is this thinking and realization and conclusion that in a year, in 365 days, you are entitled to, say, 2 weeks leave, 2 weeks, yes, break, leave. It could be up to a month, depending on the organization that you're working with. And the intention is that you take some time off of work, and then you go and you relax, you stay in your comfort zone, or you do any other thing, any other pursuits that are personal to you. You relate with your family and friends and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that will help us to relieve or deal with stress. First, I'm going to talk about human connections, bonding, and from conversations, from dialogues, from relating with people. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be just any other person. But selecting those people is one thing that we could derive stress from or not. So we have to be very careful how we select those that we mingle with when we are stressed. If our intention is to become less stressed, then we must be very careful selecting those people. And so, even conversing with them, telling them how stressed we are, could be therapeutic. And what do I mean by it being therapeutic? If they just even listen and they don't judge us, and perhaps they give us validation that it's natural to feel stressed from even doing our jobs or from going to school, or for those who are married, from even keeping up with their responsibilities, marital responsibilities, then that we could derive healing from. Now, that's connections, human connections. We could go swimming, and swimming is an art. It can be learned. So you can get someone to train you, and you could become a swimmer. Now, it's very relaxing when we swim, and the entire body system is involved. The brain is, and the rest of the soma, that's the body. So swimming is good. Now we can go on vacations. That time when you're given an annual leave, you can use it to leave that environment where there are plenty stressors in. And one of the stressors could be trauma from loss, job loss, loss of a loved one, some disaster, natural disaster that happened, and we happen to be in that environment. It may have been an earthquake, it may have been a tsunami, or just anything. So vacations, very important. We can do what I call nature's observation expedition. What do I mean by that? You go into nature. You can go to the hills, or you can go into the woods, not thick woods where there are deadly animals that would devour you. There are man-planted, I would say, trees for afforestation, okay? You could go there and enjoy ventilation. That's very agreeable. Now, you could even go fishing. Okay, so you imbibe or practice calmness, and it's going to help you deal with the tension and strain that I talked about when I was defining what stress is. So practice calmness, practice tenderness, and you could still practice toughness and practice what I would call assertiveness. Now, it's also good to be disagreeable, because when you go about your daily routines, or perhaps you're pursuing your goals, okay, personal goals, okay, you need to be assertive. Okay, so assertiveness is good, and sometimes even disagreeableness is good, because you know what you want and you know what you don't want. And disagreeableness could be even to the extent or displayed by, for instance, you have a goal or this dream and you revere it, you like it, and then you happen to mention it to someone who invalidates it. They make it look like it's not a good thing that you should do. What would you do in such an instance? You have to disagree with them. You don't necessarily have to engage them in a debate or argue with them. In your head, mentally, you know that this is what you want to do, and you're going to devote your concentration, you're going to devote your focus, and you're going to devote your attention, and you're going to devote just everything that you've got, your capabilities, to pursuing this. So you disagree with that. Okay, so practicing calmness has nothing to do with you not practicing toughness or assertiveness. Okay, so calmness is good, as well as this assertiveness and toughness. Okay, and you need all of them, and even disagreeableness, to assert yourself and to pursue your dreams. So go fishing, go swimming, go on nature's observation expedition. All right, and you can keep some healthy human connections with individuals that are dependable. This will help you to deal with stress when you're stressed. It's going to relieve you. Now, reading too may be a good thing, but it depends on you. Listening to music, and you decide what kind of music you want to listen to. Now, personally, I like classical music, so I listen to Mozart, I listen to Yanni the Jazz Master, and I like music by George Friedrich Handel. I listen to Enya, I listen to Catherine Jenkins. Beautiful music. Well, some people may find that kind of music depressing, but personally, I don't. I find it refreshing. So try when you're stressed and from stressors, try these things. It works like charm. Thank you.